All right, take two. We are back with Hugh Wells, friend of the program, to do a Thanksgiving Day draft. Hugh, recent second team All Conference MASCAC, D end. We've talked about it before. Definitely robbed a first team, but
It's neither here nor there though. So it's just extra motivation in the gym. So
for the Thanksgiving draft, Hugh pulled out the Letterman. Like I mentioned before, I wish I had mine right now, but
a little foreshadowing for what's to
yeah.
come.
So he's got his Letterman on, getting ready to. We're taping this before Thanksgiving week, so getting ready to roll into really the weekend before, which is a pretty big one. But so for the draft, we're going to be doing
Lex, let's not go too quick. You got a big game coming up, Route 5 rivalry.
rivalry.
So
So when this,
will you be breaking out your Letterman for that?
I'll definitely have the Letterman on. Yeah, when this comes out, the Hall Connor game and the Route 5 rivalry between Enfield and South Windsor will have gone by. Hall's fighting for a playoff spot. Enfield's fighting for their first win. A tale of two towns right now and two programs, but it's a huge rivalry. It's I
Well,
think 4 or 5 years old.
the Hall team looks pretty good right now, but if you want to inform the listeners what happened in 2019, though,
I mean, I mean, you didn't play. I mean, it's you kind of you going into the game. You thought it was going to be a cupcake game, but
yeah, there are a couple factors that went on that I think God was on your side. Let's just say that.
I'd say so too. So I'm looking at the playoffs now, actually. So if you guys win, you'll either play, I think, Shelton or West Haven.
Whew.
The playoffs.
My brother played West Haven his sophomore year.
Really?
They lost, so hopefully we can avenge that
That'd be
if
sick.
that ends up happening.
If the season ended today, it would be Shelton, but one more game left. Oh, and so the Shelton, I think their season's done because they canceled their Thanksgiving Day game with Derby. So I think they're done for the year. So
Wow.
they're just waiting to see who they end up playing. But for the Thanksgiving draft, it'll be 4 rounds. No specific order that you have to pick in. It's going to be one tradition, one side dish, one dessert, and one miscellaneous. So something that maybe wouldn't fall under those categories, a movie, a song, something like that that you kind of relate to Thanksgiving or think would be fitting for it. But without further ado, Hugh, you can start us off with your number one overall pick.
Okay, number one overall pick. I'm gonna kind of play the hits right here. Play your audience for tradition. Thanksgiving Day football game, high school football.
I knew you were gonna take it, but I was praying that you weren't going to.
Yeah, I mean, when I think Thanksgiving, I think of the only time of the year when everyone's home, and that's the homecoming. It's a real homecoming game because that's when I'm gonna be home. That's when my friends are gonna be home. That's when the kids I grew up watching are gonna be home.
Yeah. So now Leo always argues this. I still consider that last game of the year as Thanksgiving football, really no matter when you play it. Leo, of course, he's lucky enough to actually play on Thanksgiving. So you consider the Hall Connor game kind of a Thanksgiving Day game?
Yeah, that's our Thanksgiving game. And for anyone that doesn't know, grew up in a pretty big town, 60,000 people, two Class L, aka Division I teams in the state, and two rival high schools. I mean, you grew up hating each other, so it's a good clash. The whole town gets together. So
yeah, that's pretty sweet. You guys definitely get it reminds me a lot of the Longmeadow East Longmeadow game. But theirs is weird because Longmeadow one year was in the state championship, and the way Mass does it is playoffs are starting while playoffs start, then you have your Thanksgiving Day game. So Longmeadow rested a bunch of players and East Longmeadow won, but that
really?
was one side of the field was completely red, the other side was black, and then that's the same with you guys. You see the pictures,
Yeah,
it's red and blue, completely divided.
yeah, and it's one of those games, just like any Thanksgiving game, but you never forget that senior year game.
Now, where is it this year? Is it at Conard or at Hall?
It's at Hall this year.
So that should be pretty good.
Yeah, so the barn should be packed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do think that's about the equivalent of an actual Thanksgiving game because, like you said, everybody's back home, and it really is the the true homecoming game. Everybody's back home.
Because
You get a lot of alumni.
most big schools and even the smaller schools, they like they're done. Like this Friday is their last day of class. Everyone comes home Saturday, and so Thanksgiving's on your mind, and
Yeah.
I'm calling it a Thanksgiving game.
And then for high school too, at least Connecticut, only really a handful that I know of play on Thanksgiving now. I know East and Northwest either do like the night before or the day. The real
Stonington, Westerly.
Yeah, Stonington, Westerly, and the big one is Darien, New Canaan. That's the one. Like they
Yeah.
actually sell tickets for that. Like you have to pre-order. They get a lot of
Oh
Division
wow.
One alumni coming back and coming to that game. So that's I think the one that'll continue. But yeah, the rest I think will just keep moving to Saturdays and maybe even the week of Thanksgiving, but none really the day of. Which playing the day of seems like it would be fun once, but
But
having
again,
Thanksgiving.
I don't know about you, but I like going to see my family in other states during
Yeah,
Thanksgiving. And I would have a and that's the family I only see like once or twice a year. So it would
right.
completely change the course of my normal Thanksgiving experience
Definitely.
playing on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like I'm fully relaxed on Thanksgiving. I'm stuffing myself with food and watching football. I don't have to play football. I get to watch it. So
Yeah.
completely different mindset.
All right. So my first pick, I'm gonna do a tradition also. I was gonna take what you took, number one, if you didn't take it. But I'm gonna go with the three Thursday night games, like the three games that are throughout. You can always count on Dallas playing, always count on Detroit, and then usually a pretty good late game because Dallas and Detroit will play earlier. But yeah, I mean those are the games you kind of don't really pay attention, I don't think, to the first two because you're kind of
Yeah.
milling around the house here in between talking to family, eating, but those games are always on in the background. And I think that 8 o'clock game is the one people really sit down
Yeah. That's
and
the
like
holy
watch that,
grail.
like point a lot of their attention to because it's usually a better game also. So I'm gonna have to go with the Thursday night, the three games, the three NFL games. And I really don't think any holiday like Christmas, a big one is like Christmas basketball.
Guess what? I'm never tuned into that.
I don't think any pro sports on a holiday compares. The only that you could maybe compare is like baseball on the 4th of July.
And I
Because
think the
it's more,
best thing about your pick, I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're good.
But I think the best thing about your pick is at halftime, you get together with all the cousins or your brother or your dad or your uncle, and you go outside and start throwing the football yourself. You're ruining your jeans. It's a nightmare for all the mothers out there. But if you're wearing khakis, God forbid they're a nice pair because you know there's going to be some dirt stains on them.
That was another tradition I like thought about. I was like the classic go outside, like you find a football in the garage or something.
Yep.
And you go out with like either your cousins, your uncles, your like just all your family members. You kind of just throw the ball around and
Yep.
like you're diving around, making diving catches. Like you're all over the place.
Yeah, that nice shirt you were planning on wearing to church during Christmas Day in a couple of weeks, no longer an option.
No, it's green now. It's the grass and dirt stains are all over it.
Yep.
All right, swinging it back to you. So you still have miscellaneous, side dish, and dessert on the table. I'm in the same boat as you. Both traditions are off the board.
Yeah, I'm gonna go jump to miscellaneous.
Okay.
This could be a tradition, but miscellaneous, it's a kind of a read between the lines, a little bit of artistic license.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with the Wednesday night bar run, the Black Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And I think what's pivotal and important about this is, like I've said before, I'm all about seeing people you haven't seen in a while. And this is one night. There is going to be some curveballs. There's going to be some fringe guys. You're going to scrap together a squad and you're going to bump into kids you might have had like pre-calc with back in like 2017, you know?
That are like semi beef, like nothing like extreme, but you guys just didn't like each other. And like,
yeah, like you saw that kid pick his nose once. Like you saw this kid pick his nose and like put it under the desk once. Like you're like, this kid sucks, but then you're gonna dab him up. Like
yeah,
it's just one of those situations where it's gonna be curveballs. You're gonna run into people. It's gonna be fun and it might be messy, but that's all part of the experience.
it must be a little bit different because like we had the one high school in town. You have the two in West Hartford, and you guys go to the bars on like the Conard side of town. So like
Yeah.
that
Well,
also.
it is technically in the middle of town, but you're very right. Everyone that lives super close is Conard side of the town.
Yeah. So like that's another big curveball is you're going to school with kids you have played football against, wrestled against, played basketball, lacrosse,
Yeah. So
baseball.
now all of a sudden these old beefs are reawakening.
Right.
And with a little bit of liquid courage, who knows what's going to happen?
Oh,
But I'd say it's mostly blown over by now. But it, you don't know. You really don't know.
get a couple of beers and it may not. It's gonna get revived real quick.
Yeah, everyone's going to go back to their glory days. But I'd say I'm pretty tight with most of the kids
Yeah.
now that I need to be tight with. Some
Yeah.
kids are always going to stink in the back of my mind, but I've befriended a lot of kids on the other side of town.
It's a good pick. That's a real good pick right there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go dessert right now. I'm gonna go with so pies in general are like the big that's no other holiday is as synonymous with like a dessert as I feel like Thanksgiving. Christmas you can kind of mix it up. Easter you can mix it up. All the other holidays you can mix it up. Thanksgiving you need to have at least like 2 or 3 pies there. So like the
Mm.
one that I'm going with that like is always there is a must have is pumpkin pie.
All
You get
right, that's a
pumpkin
good
pie
pick.
with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on it, and you're set for like you're set right there. Like that's your lead off dessert. You
Yeah,
start
yeah, yeah. That's gonna get you through the first quarter of the 8 o'clock game,
yeah, and then
or maybe the fourth quarter of the earlier game. You know.
exactly, and then you go back later and you're like, well, maybe they have pecan, maybe they have apple,
Yeah.
maybe there's like somebody brought cookies. You go to those, but like you always make sure you're like, all right, I just finished my turkey.
Everyone needs. You didn't have Thanksgiving unless you had one piece of pumpkin pie.
Exactly, it's a must have, and if you don't have that at your Thanksgiving, you're simply doing it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I think I know what your miscellaneous pick's gonna be.
Oh,
I know.
it's gotta,
I just left that one on the table.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let we'll get there when that comes, but I guess it's my turn now.
Yep. So you got dessert and side dish on the table. I've got miscellaneous and side dish.
All right, I'm gonna go dessert, follow your lead, and I'm going pecan pie.
That's like I feel like the close second. I don't think it's as beloved as pumpkin.
But it's a niche thing. Those who
Yes.
like it love it.
Yes. It's really like my mom asked. She's like, "What are like if you like if she's like
Big
we get
three.
2 pies? What do you want?" I said pumpkin and pecan. And
Yeah, I can have apple pie anytime I want, but pecan
yes.
and pumpkin. I mean, it is a big three. I mean, I would be disappointed if there wasn't apple pie because I'm
Right.
probably gonna try all three. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
But the big three: pecan, pumpkin, apple. But I can get apple anytime I want.
Yeah.
Pecan and pumpkin. That's slim pickings for a real good one, especially homemade.
Is there like a wild card pie that like if you see it you're gonna get excited about? Because like you
Oh,
need the big
yes, yes, yes,
there's
yes.
one sitting there, like nobody's taking a slice out of it yet. You go over, you're taking that as your slice.
One of my family members brings in this. It's honestly probably goes the quickest at I have a big family Thanksgiving. I'd say it's north of 20, 30, probably north of 20 people. It's like the whole family really on my dad's side. And it's a chocolate chip black cherry.
Ooh,
And it's TDF to die for.
yeah,
It's the real deal.
that sounds unreal.
So that one goes quick.
Now,
What about you?
is it like the fruit filling or with like the
It's like
chocolate?
both. It's like fruit filling cherries, real cherries, the fruit filling, and then like chocolate chips are in there. There might be some other stuff, but I don't know.
That's legit. I'm a big like them out of the big like outside the big three. My if I see like blueberry pie, I'm going with that and I'm throwing it in the microwave for like 15 seconds and then I'm throwing vanilla ice cream on it. Cause then like the blueberries like fall out of the pie.
Kind of like what Leo's dad Tim
Yes,
did for us.
yes. That's I feel like you don't really warm up pecan or
No, you can, yeah, that's a lukewarm pie.
the fruit ones. I feel like if you warm them up, just nuke them for a good 10, 15 seconds, they come out perfect.
Yeah, that's very right. That is very correct.
All right.
All right. You're up.
Yeah, so I've got side dish still on the table and miscellaneous. I'm gonna hold my miscellaneous till the end. I'm gonna go side dish here. Um, I'm trying to think really what goes perfect with like. So I'm gonna go mac and cheese.
Oh,
My mom makes a real good one. It's the you get the mac and cheese with the breadcrumbs on top, throw it in the oven, bake it in the
fair
pan,
pick. It's a fair pick.
and that's a big one too. Like when I'm watching the later game, I'll go back and I'll grab like a scoop of mac and cheese and a couple pieces of turkey and throw that in the microwave for 30 seconds and eat that. I'm not really
Yeah.
me, I'm not going back for mashed potatoes or for stuffing really. They're good. They're good, but if I had to just pick one to go back for when I'm having leftovers, I'm going for the scoop of the mac and cheese. Like, and you can't beat a good mac and cheese. Really, it's you can have that at any time, and it may not be on everybody's Thanksgiving table. But when
Mhm.
I think Thanksgiving, I think of my mom making that. So I got to go with mac and cheese as my side dish.
Yeah, that's a very, very solid, safe pick. Don't know many people that don't like mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's like it's like it's beloved by pretty much just about. It's just beloved by everybody. It's a tough one for people to, like you said, not to like.
Definitely, definitely. All right, well, that leaves me a side dish.
Yes.
All right, I'm making a last second audible.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you know what I was thinking about picking, but I'm changing it up. My initial thought was, let's go squash.
Ooh,
Everyone, you have squash at your Thanksgiving,
we do.
and it's a good pick, but that's very niche, very niche. I'm gonna do an audible check Miami
Yep.
cranberry sauce.
It
Cranberry sauce.
that's one. It's 50-50. I feel like because and it's you either love it or hate it, and like I'm in the love it camp.
I
I
am in the love it camp.
when I was a kid, I was in the like, why do we have this here? Like this.
Yeah, what is? Yeah, what am I doing with this? Like, what's going on here?
But now I'm like when you get older, you learn to appreciate it more.
Definitely, it is. It is a little bit of an. It's kind of like maturing is realizing that cranberry sauce is valid.
Yeah, it's a top three side dish at Thanksgiving. Like
Yeah,
everybody wants to talk about the mashed potatoes and the stuffing, but the
yeah.
cranberry sauce is great. It's ridiculous how good and how underrated I feel like it really
If
is.
it wasn't at your Thanksgiving, oh boy, you'd be disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good pick. I thought you were gonna go stuffing. I thought that was the camp you were
No,
going with.
no, that's basic, and I don't know. It's just I've never been. I like it. I'll eat it, but I'm never like, give me the stuffing. I'm never throwing it in my face. So maybe I know it's a good stuffing because everyone else likes it. I'm just not a stuffing guy.
Yeah.
Sue
Yeah.
me.
Now, all right. So I'm taking my miscellaneous off the board with the last pick of the draft, and this is I feel like one of the greatest feelings to wake up because you wake up usually late the next morning,
Mhm.
and
You're,
you're just like,
you're a little bit sad because your favorite. I don't know about you, but is Thanksgiving your favorite holiday? It's my favorite holiday also, and and you're a little bit. It's kind of a little hangover from like, all right, well, that's my favorite holiday. It's over.
but you wake up, you have a lot of leftovers. Uh, see, making the Friday Thanksgiving sandwich is my favorite thing to do.
Yep.
You buy usually
Day after, baby. It's the day after sandwich.
you can buy either the I like ciabatta or you go with the King's Hawaiian rolls and you make like smaller ones. But I feel like ciabatta's a real good one to have. You toast it up, you mix, you get a little cup, you throw mayo in it and cranberry sauce. You mix that up, put that all over the both sides of it, mashed potatoes on both, stuffing, a little mac and cheese, some turkey, gravy on top,
Oh,
and then you just put that sandwich together and you just go to town. And
Maron.
it's
I'm getting
unlike any other.
excited.
It really I think is not even just this time of the year. I just think it's an all like a top three sandwich of all time.
Yeah, and you know where we should be taking advantage of Gerard's Turkey Farm. We got one in Marshfield,
Do we really?
and it's what they got there? Day after sandwiches, all year round. All
Yeah,
year round. I went there with Leo.
legit.
Yeah, well, because there used to be one in Framingham or by Framingham. I don't know exactly where I spent a couple of years of my young my younger days, but there happens to be one in Marshfield now, and we cleared the shelves. I think we each
Really?
got 2 or 3 each, and then
Yeah.
brought a couple back to Tim.
Yeah, it just making that, and then especially if you do Black Friday shopping, you either like if you get up early
Oh,
and you go out Black Friday shopping, you come back and make it, or if you get up late and you just have like a few stores you want to hit in town, you make that before you go out, really, and then you make it for dinner too. That's how I am. You make it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you're set for life.
I mean, that's food for the rest of the week.
Yeah. My parents do like a Friendsgiving with like our family friends on Friday, and they make like a whole new turkey. Me, I just take like the leftovers. I'm making the sandwiches. Everyone's making full plates. I'm smarter than everyone there. I'm like I'm the alpha, and like they don't know what they're doing. Like that's how I feel with that.
Yeah, that's a good play. That's a real good play.
Yeah. So, and you said it best. This is the greatest holiday there is. I as a kid, you get excited for Christmas because you're getting presents.
I
Thanks.
think once you hit age 11, 12, it's like,
Really,
all right,
I
like,
feel like high school is when it really clicks. You're like, wow, this holiday is great.
yeah. Well, you grow out of Christmas when you're like 12,
Mhm.
and then you hit high school and you're kind of just like you're floating around trying to find out like who you even are. And then all of a sudden Thanksgiving comes around and you're like, whoa, this is the real McCoy.
Yeah, it really is great, and just every there's not really a bad aspect of it because the weather is still decent.
Mm-hmm.
Getting football, you're getting great food, you're with your friends and family. There's nothing that beats that. And like, I don't know about you, I don't like we have Thanksgiving at my house usually, so like I'm in like a hoodie and khakis or a hoodie and sweats, so I'm not dressing up for it either. And like I like that even more. Like Christmas is a holiday. It's like, oh, you're bouncing around to other places. You got to dress up. Same with Easter. Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
I can just lounge around, eat, and just chill and do nothing. That's
yeah.
what I love most about it.
It is a day of giving thanks
Yeah,
and just appreciating what you have.
yeah,
And I we're lucky to have a lot, and it's fun to appreciate it.
yeah. Before I let you go, I finished American Psycho last night.
Oof.
It's
That's,
the scene.
what do you think about the ending? I don't know if we can talk about that. We can't talk
the-
about the ending.
Well, I didn't understand the lady in the apartment. Like the when he goes to Paul Allen's house, his apartment after the fact, after he had the night where he killed the two girls, and she's like, "You better leave. You better leave."
Uh,
I didn't fully understand that, but I found the scene with the lawyer where he's like, I had lunch with Paul Allen twice in London 10 days ago,
oh yeah,
and he has no clue what's going on. It almost it's a twist you don't see coming, and he just kind of. I like the ending where he's kind of the very end where he's just like, I'm pretty much living in my own hell. This is what I have to deal with every day, thinking I did this, but nobody believes me, or like no one knows, or just that this never happened.
it definitely just leaves you on it when you're already kind of confused and your mind's already boggled, and then you're left on a cliffhanger, which it's a cliche thing to say, like, oh, it leaves you on a cliffhanger, but
That legitimately did.
yeah, you are grabbing onto whatever you can to not fall off the cliff.
Yeah. He really started freaking out. Like you saw it all happen when the dude that showed him his business card tried to like make out with him in the bathroom. That was really when everything started to like unravel for him, it seemed like, where he just started to lose his mind when they're at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
that part was nuts. And just from there it just seemed like it spiraled out of control. And that I called you during the movie. That scene with the two prostitutes where the very first one where he's talking about Phil Collins is so uncomfortable and just so weird.
it is.
My skin was like crawling watching that.
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely, but it's so uncomfortable. But you don't want to look away though.
No, you couldn't.
You couldn't. It's a captivating uncomfortability.
Yeah. And Jared Leto was great as Paul Allen. I love the whole part where like I love that whole storyline where Paul Allen has no clue who Patrick Bateman is. He just keeps calling him by the wrong name.
Yeah,
Bateman just has to like bite his tongue about it. And I thought that was hilarious.
And obviously, I think the scene where that like the sus dude has a better business card,
Mhm.
and Patrick Bateman just freaks out.
Yeah, because that's
That's
where he tries to like kiss him in the bathroom,
it
and
was
like he
just
goes in there, he's like trying to strangle him. It was that was and is so that's the guy he's having sex with. Patrick Bateman's having sex with his wife or his fiance, right?
yes.
Yeah, that so it's the funniest scene in it, I think, was when Patrick Bateman's with his fiance in the cafe towards the end, and he just screams at her. She's like, "Well, my
You're
friend."
breaking up. This is not happening. This is not working anymore.
He's like, she's like, "My friends are your friends, and your friends are my friends." He's like, "You can have them. You can have them."
Yeah.
And screams at her, and she's like crying in the cafe. I thought that scene was he's losing his mind, but it was pretty hilarious.
He truly is losing his mind.
But yeah, that we got to figure out our next Christian Bale movie because we watched The Dark Knight, we watched
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, American Psycho. There's a lot of good ones. I mean, Ford versus Ferrari could be a good one.
Yeah, but we don't. That's like it's a good movie, but I don't. We don't need to see it.
Yeah,
We're trying to watch films where it's important. Like our mission in this adventure we're going on is to find movies and watch the movies that are culturally important, like very quotable, referenceable in pop culture and everything in between. So that's a Fight Club is next in the chopping block. I've seen it a couple of times, and I'm happy to watch it again.
yeah. Do you want to do that tonight?
That could be tonight. I have to analyze my homework situation, and it could
Yeah,
be tonight thing.
we'll figure it out at a Friendsgiving down at the mess stack.
Yep.
All right. So that'll wrap up the Thanksgiving draft and a little bit of to go with a little bit of Christian Bale talk. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family if you're listening right now. And thank you for continuing to listen, guys.
And stay safe because this is a
Yeah.
drunk driver's paradise.
Yeah, especially the Wednesday before is just it's a scary time. So yeah, stay safe and enjoy time with your family.
Yep.